More dangerous technology. ASUS has apparently recalled their ROG Z690 Hero motherboard. We actually, bad timing, uploaded a video featuring this motherboard right around the time the recall was sort of happening. Obviously, we recorded the video way before, but there are at least 6 reports of these motherboards allegedly, I mean, it's not really allegedly at this point, ASUS has actually like initiated a recall, catching on fire. 6 reports now. Oof. Like, how are you supposed to get the error code? Okay, what's the I was on fire error code, Luke?
Let me just Google ASUS error code fire.
Yeah, 666. That's the one, right? I'm sorry, we're in a hellish inferno here, boys.
Just adds a number.
Oh man, I heard the best joke the other day, but I'm gonna tell it to you later.
Oh,
so just remind me to tell you a joke.
Okay. On show or?
On show.
Okay.
So Reddit user, the Max XHD, posted 13 days ago about how they had a board fail. They bought a new one, rebuilt the system with a new power supply as well, only for that board to fail too. So users either get code 53 indicating a memory issue, or the unlucky ones, the board melts or catches on fire.
Nice.
Buildzoid from Actually Hardware Overclocking thinks it's a capacitor being installed backwards.
In pictures of the boards, he points out that in some cases, the polarity stripe on a capacitor near the memory and error LED is on the other side. Apparently, Jay's 2 cents also agrees that is probably what's going on.
That's a little awkward. So this could be due to bad quality control at the factory or using multiple sources for capacitors, so they look slightly different. But if you bought an ROG Maximus Z690 Hero, you can check the serial number at ASUS's support page. Our discussion question for this one from Nicolas Plouf is, how many motherboards have Linus and Luke seen fail over the years? And what is up with this past year or two being so bad? I actually don't even know if this past year or two was even so bad. I'd say we've seen like a ton of motherboard failures over the years. The problem for us, though, is that we never have a significant enough sample size to say, okay, actually, I shouldn't say that. There have been some dud motherboards over the years, and actually, the worst one that I'm aware of that ever existed was another one from ASUS.
Well, if you did IT work back when you and I were growing up, then it was,
in the Enforce days.
Well, liquid caps, right?
Yeah, that too. Okay, so that goes back a little bit farther, yeah.
But like I worked with those a lot back when I used to work in computer repair. Like a huge percentage of the time. One of the standard things I would do is if someone was like, yeah, my computer's not turning on, I'd take the side panel off and look for like leaking caps.
Yeah.
Because that was just so common back in the day. So yeah, lots of motherboards. I've seen lots and lots of motherboards fail. It's been kind of a thing for a long time where there's a chance your motherboard's going to fail, but your CPU probably won't.
Yeah, well, that's we've got a video coming about that quite soon, actually, where we try to figure out what is the best used CPU to buy. And,
I think I'm assuming you guys go over this in the video, but a big factor of that is going to be how much the motherboard costs.
Exactly, because that's enormous, right? Because you might be tempted to go buy the $20 overclockable Xeon on eBay, but you might not realize, oh, shoot, I'm going to need $60 RAM to get this going and an $80 motherboard. And meanwhile, I could have just spent $60 or $70 on, a first-gen Ryzen, and then I could buy a brand new board that doesn't have, a ton of years on it already.
Super sus.
I could buy DDR4 memory instead of like old DDR3 memory that for whatever reason is as expensive, if not more so.
Yeah.
And I'm getting way better performance. And so it ends up having a ton of really cool lessons in it. So one is how to bargain shop, right?
Nice.
So not just
Always
looking
good.
at components in isolation. And then the other cool lesson that we accidentally drove home was that Alex overclocked all the platforms, because by his logic, if you're trying to squeeze the absolute most out of an aging platform, you should absolutely be overclocking it. So he ended up with, I think it's either 3 or 4 different CPUs that all happened to cap out around 4 gigahertz. And we did a video recently talking about how gigahertz doesn't matter. And in the video, this is it's so hard to have these conversations. In the video, at one point I say, so gigahertz does matter. And I go on to explain how assuming identical architectures
Right.
that is
Yeah.
still a useful way that you can differentiate between one chip and another one. And the comment section is full of people being like, yeah, he even admits it. Gigahertz does matter. I'm going to continue to shop with gigahertz. And anyway, as part of working on this video, we ended up sort of accidentally proving once again that gigahertz is not a particularly meaningful measure of a CPU's performance. It is only an indicator that we can look at alongside many other indicators. That is the only way that it is useful.
That's cool.